0442 hours, April 14th, 1943, Southwest Pacific, over the Owen Stanley Range. The sun isn't up yet, just a faint smear of gray against the jagged silhouette of New Guinea's mountains. Inside the cramped cockpit of a P38 Lightning, Major Richard Bong breathes in air that tastes like engine oil and cold metal. The canopy glass rattles. The twin Allison engines thrum through the seat like a pulse. He nudges the throttle forward. A distant rumble answers. 14 other Lightnings forming up behind him, their twin tails cutting ghost shapes through the morning haze. Below, the jungle is still asleep. Above, something else is waking. A crackle jumps across the radio. Static. Then a clipped voice from the lead element. Bong, we've got movement. High. East. He looks up. Thin silhouettes glide across the dawn sky. Sleek, single-engine Japanese fighters running a wide patrol arc. Faint at first, then sharpening into the unmistakable profile of Key 43 Oscars. The very aircraft whose pilots had joked for months that the American two-tailed monster was too heavy to climb, too slow to turn, and too clumsy to dogfight. And for a moment, the mockery feels real. Bong can see how fast they're coming. The formation tightens around him. Leather gloves flex, boots brace, breath clouds the inside of masks. He tilts the Lightning's nose upward, just a hair, enough to feel the weight of the aircraft change. The twin booms vibrating as the turbines settle into a deeper growl. The engines want altitude. They always have. This was the part the enemy never understood. A flare of sunlight catches the P-38's silver skin. A second later, Bong pushes the throttles fully forward. The Lightning surges, not a lumbering climb, not a slow drag. A sudden, almost aggressive leap into thinner air, the props biting hard and true. You can almost feel the acceleration in your chest, like someone shoves you back into the seat and refuses to let go. Below, one of Bong's wingmen swears under his breath. Holy hell, she's awake today. The Oscars finally recognize the threat. Their formation begins to break. Some dive, some swing wide. One holds altitude, confident he can outturn any or anything that comes at him. But this isn't a turning fight. Bong's crosshairs drift over the leading fighter. His thumb hovers above the trigger. Not yet. Not at this angle. The Lightning climbs past its own shadow, past the comfort of level flight, up into a pocket of cold air where breath turns to fog, and the engines sound sharper, hungrier. A pilot trained on single-engine planes might tense here. The nose feels too long. The wings feel too wide. The aircraft feels different. But Bong leans into it. This is where the P-38 lives. Another radio voice, tight with apprehension. They still think we're too heavy to fight up here. Bong exhales slowly. A grin he doesn't mean to show curls at the corner of his mouth. Let them think. He rolls the Lightning onto its side. Smooth, deliberate, letting gravity grab the twin-tailed frame. The world flips. The mountains fall out of view. The sunrise becomes a hard line across the canopy. Then he dives. Not steep, not reckless. Calculated. The enemy aircraft that held altitude is now climbing into him, expecting a slow American brick to lumber overhead. Instead, He gets a streak of silver falling out of the sky like a thrown spear. The Oscar pilot jerks sideways. Too late. Bong's 4 50 cal guns and 20mm cannon open at once. A brief, violent flash. Then the sky swallows the debris. One of Bong's wingmen lets out a sharp breath. That's one. But the fight is just starting. 2 more Japanese fighters arc around, diving for the P38s with the confidence of men who still don't fully grasp what they're facing. The formation splits. Engines scream. Vapor trails slice through morning light. For a few seconds, everything is motion. No words, just instinct. Then a new voice comes across the radio. Calm, too calm. Multiple groups rising from the north. Not Oscars. Heavier. A beat of silence. Then a second voice, tense. Zeeks. At least a dozen. Maj Bong steadies the yoke and scans the distance. The twin-tailed lightning is climbing again. Smooth. Effortless. The very performance the Japanese once dismissed as impossible. He wipes sweat from his eyebrow with the back of his glove. This was no patrol anymore. This was a hunt. But who's hunting who? The answer is about to shift the balance over New Guinea. The sky over New Guinea shifts from gray to gold as the sun finally breaks the horizon. It paints the mountain ridges in sharp, uneven lines and floods the air with a blinding glare. Perfect for ambushes. Terrible for spotting incoming fighters. The P38 formation spreads into a climbing arc, engines hammering through the morning quiet. Major Richard Bong keeps his eyes narrowed behind his goggles, searching through the glare for movement. There, faint specks, rising. Not the light, agile Oscars. These climb with more purpose, more weight. Zeros, a whole group of them. The Japanese pilots had a reputation in the Southwest Pacific, disciplined, fearless, and absolutely certain they understood every American aircraft the moment they saw it. For months, their intelligence reports described the P-38 Lightning as too large to maneuver efficiently and incapable of sustaining prolonged climb. Some pilots even joked through intercepted chatter that the 2 tails made it look like a metal ox with wings. But now, those same pilots watched something they didn't expect. The Lightnings weren't falling back. They weren't leveling off. They were climbing directly into the fight, faster than any twin-engine aircraft had a right to. A quiet hum crackles across Bong's radio as he levels off at altitude. The Zeros close fast, sunlight flashing off their rounded wingtips. "Hold your line," Bong says. His voice is steady. He doesn't need to raise it. One of the younger pilots, Lieutenant Jansen, swallows hard. You can hear it in his tone. "Sir, they outnumber us. 2 to 1. Bong tilts his head, scanning. Not if you fly the Lightning the way she wants to be flown. A beat. Static. Then a dry chuckle from another pilot. Which is how, exactly? Bong's answer is simple. Don't turn with them. Make them turn with you. A gust of cold wind pushes through the cockpit seams. The engines throb under Bong's boots, and the Lightning's nose trims slightly upward as if preparing on its own. Below, the jungle spreads into a green ocean. Endless. Silent. Indifferent. The first Zero commits to the attack. He dives from above, confident he can roll under the heavy American fighter and hook upward into its blind spot. A classic maneuver. Textbook. The kind that worked on Wildcats, Warhawks, and everything else the US had thrown into the Pacific so far. Bong sees it. He doesn't turn. He doesn't dive. He accelerates upward, straight into the Zero's dive, cutting a clean vertical line through the sky. The Japanese pilot jolts. This isn't the physics he expected. The P-38 rockets past him. So close, Bong can see the pilot's scarf snap in the slipstream. Bong flips the Lightning into a high yo-yo, using altitude as a weapon, the same way Japanese pilots used maneuverability. The Zero tries to follow, tries to roll, tries to climb back into position. But the climb kills his airspeed. His engine strains. His wings shudder. He's bleeding energy fast. Bong doesn't wait for him to recover. He drops in. One clean burst. The Zero spirals downward, trailing smoke, disappearing into the bright haze below. Lieutenant Johnson's voice cracks across the radio. "Sir, they can't follow us up here." "No," Bong answers. "They never could." Another group of Japanese fighters breaks formation, swinging wide for a pincer attack. Their confidence is visibly shaken now. Their lines sloppy, their spacing uneven. They're still fast, still agile, still deadly. But they're no longer certain. Two Lightnings peel off to meet them head-on. Engines roar. Sunlight becomes blinding white streaks on aluminum skin. The Zeros curve, expecting the Americans to turn. They don't. The P-38s flash past them so fast the enemy overshoots entirely, forced into a longer, slower loop to re-engage. A loop that costs altitude. A loop the Lightnings can punish. Majid Bong steadies his breathing. His gloves creak over the yoke. His flight suit sticks to his back with sweat. "You've got one coming up behind you!" someone shouts. Bong rolls right. Not flat. Angled. He drops into a descending spiral that uses gravity instead of muscle. The Zero tries to stay on him, but the Lightning's twin engines give it a burst of speed on the exit that no single-engine fighter can match. Bong pulls the nose up and climbs again. The Zero can't follow. It wobbles, stalls, falls away like a leaf caught in a downdraft. Bong speaks through gritted teeth. They don't realize it yet. "What's that, sir?" Johnson asks. That the hunt just reversed. He glances toward the northern horizon. Something else is coming. Faint glints. Not many, but enough to change the fight. And they're not Japanese. WWII Richard Bong tilts his head, squinting past the morning glare. At first, the distant specks look like sunlight glinting off drifting clouds. But clouds don't hold formation, and they don't close distance in clean, disciplined lines. These do. A long exhale fogs the inside of his mask. "All P-38 elements, keep your altitude," Bong murmurs. "We're not alone up here." Lieutenant Johnson sounds breathless. Friendlies? That's the question. The eastern sun blinds half the sky, and for a tense, breath-stretching moment, every pilot is flying half-blind. The Lightning vibrates under Bong's boots as he nudges the throttles, trying to gain just a few more feet. Anything to change the angle of the glare. A second voice crackles through the radio. Older, steady, unmistakably American. "Lightning Group, this is the 49th Fighter Group. Don't shoot." Relief flickers like warm light inside Bong's chest. The newcomers break through the glare at last. P-40 Warhawks, engines hammering, climbing hard to join the fight. Their shark mouth noses flash as they slide into position, wings rocking in greeting. Jansen laughs, a quick, nervous sound. "Sir, you ever been happy to see a P-40? "Today," Bong replies. "Very." But the Japanese see them too. The Zeros hesitate, just for a moment. And in air combat, a moment is enough. Bong pushes his yoke forward. Press the attack before they regroup. Lightnings take high. P40s sweep low. The sky erupts again. Three-dimensional chaos. Engines scream. Shell casings flicker like sparks. Contrails twist into pale spirals against the blue morning. The combined American formation moves with unexpected harmony. P40s slash horizontally across the fight, forcing the Zeros into defensive roles. P38s dive and climb in long, brutal vertical arcs, turning every Japanese escape into a fatal climb they can't sustain. A Warhawk pilot grunts through radio static. "Zero on my tail. Can't shake him." Bong hears the strain in the man's voice, the kind that only comes from knowing you're seconds from being outturned, outrolled, out of options. Bong banks left, drops throttle, and dives. Cold wind slams against his canopy. The mountains rush upward. The Zero behind the P40 is so close, Bong can see the pilot leaning forward in his harness, trying to squeeze the last ounce of turn out of his aircraft. The P-38's nose slides across the Japanese fuselage. Just an inch, then another. Then, he fires. Burst of 50 cal hits the Zero's right wing root. The Japanese fighter jerks, pitches sideways, and peels downward trailing smoke. The P-40 pilot exhales sharply. "Never thought I'd say it, sir, but you lightnings fly like damn angels up there." Bong doesn't answer. He's already climbing again. Altitude is life. The Lightning repeats this truth with every heartbeat of its engines. A shout cracks across the radio. Urgent, raw. "More bandits! West of the ridge!" Bong snaps his eyes toward the dark ridge stretching along the horizon. At first, he sees nothing. Then, like a trick of the light, dark specks peel out from behind the terrain. But these shapes aren't Zeros, and they're not Oscars. Their silhouettes are larger, heavier, twin engines, Japanese bombers, Ki-48 Lilies, moving at low altitude, using terrain cover to slip past the fight. They're headed toward Dobodura airfields. If they get through, they could torch half the Allied presence in the sector. Bong's stomach tightens. "They're making a run for the strips," he says. "All lightning elements, on me. We intercept." One of the younger pilots hesitates. "Sir, if we break off now, the Zeros won't matter if the Lily group reaches our bases." Bong cuts in. "Move." The lightnings peel out of the dogfight, leaving the P-40s to press the Zeros. The sky seems to shift behind them, the noise of combat fading into a distant thunder as Bong dives toward the ridge. Cold air roars through the seams of his cockpit. His goggles rattle. His gloves tighten around the yoke until the leather creaks. Below the ridge, shadows move in tight formation. 6 Lily bombers, sunlight glinting off their glazed noses, engines thundering as they push hard for the coastline. The Japanese pilots think they have a window. They think the Americans are too busy. They don't know what's coming over the ridge. Jansen's voice cracks through the silence. "Sir, we can't let them reach Dobodura." Bong breathes once. "We won't." But he sees something else, something the Japanese certainly didn't expect, trailing behind the bombers at just the wrong distance. Zeros, a whole escort element, flying low, right in the Lightning's kill zone. This isn't just an interception. It's about to be a knife fight at treetop level. The ridge drops away like a cliff beneath their wings. Meiji. Richard Bong pushes the lightning into a shallow dive, and the world narrows into a blur of green jungle canopy, dark ravines, and twisting rivers flashing like silver knives in the morning sun. The air gets hotter, thicker, heavier. Down here, you don't have room to breathe, let alone maneuver. One mistake and the jungle ends your war for you. Bong steadies his breathing. His gloves squeeze the yoke just once, a small, human reminder that even the best pilots need to reset their nerves before diving into chaos. Ahead, the P38. Lily bombers roar in tight formation, 6 green specks skimming the treetops, their engines throbbing like a rolling drumline. They're low on purpose, hugging terrain to avoid radar and long-range detection. But behind them, too close, too slow, and completely out of position, fly their escorts, Zeros, a full element. The Japanese escort pilots don't see the lightnings yet. Not clearly. The sun behind Bong's formation blinds them, flattening all depth, turning P38 silhouettes into thin streaks of reflected light. Lieutenant Jansen's breath hisses across the radio. "Sir, they're in perfect line." Bong nods once. "Then we break their line." He flips the master arm switch. A sharp click echoes through the cockpit. The guns are hot. The lightnings fan out, diving into a high-speed merge that strips away every ounce of fear and replaces it with instinct. The jungle rushes upward. A Zero finally spots them. He yanks his stick, climbing hard. Too late. Bong's lightning slices through from above. One clean burst, a flash of debris, and the Zero disappears into the treetops below in a billow of dark smoke. Another Zero rolls left, trying to break into a turn. But this is lightning country now. Vertical, fast, merciless. 2 P38s streak downward behind him. One fires. The Zero pitches sideways, trailing fire before vanishing into the canopy. For a moment, just a brief, startling moment, the Japanese formation is stunned. They expected an attack from above. They did not expect a high-speed, twin-engine ambush only yards above the jungle. The bombers chug forward, unaware they're already losing their protection. Bong's voice cuts through the radio, steady but hard. "Keep them off the bombers. We can't let one reach the strips." A beat of silence, then a unified answer from the entire lightning flight. "Roger." One of Bong's men, Lieutenant Holman, dives too steeply. His voice strains. "Zero on my 6. He's sticking. Damn, he's sticking tight." Bong doesn't think. He banks right. Hard. The lightning shudders, but holds. Twin engines screaming as he knifes sideways through the canyon of trees. He spots Holman's pursuer, a Zero tucked frighteningly close, waiting for one perfect moment to fire. "Break left on my mark," Bong says. Holman's breath is ragged. "Sir, do it." Holman snaps the stick left. The Zero overshoots. Just a hair, but it's enough. Bong's guns flare. The Zero explodes into fragments that scatter across the treetops like sparks from a bonfire. Holman exhales a shaky laugh. "Sir, thank you. Buy me dinner after the war," Bong mutters, already accelerating. Another voice cuts in, urgent, tight. "Bombers are climbing, just a bit, trying to set up their run." Bong sees it now. The Lily formation rises a few hundred feet, adjusting into a shallow climb. They're lining up for their bombing run on the Dobodura, fields, still miles away, but closing dangerously fast. The Zeros that remain, 4 now, snap into a desperate defensive pattern. They dive. They climb. They use every trick they know, but the lightnings outpace them from every angle. "Sir," Johnson says, "if they release over Dobodura—" "They won't," Bong replies. He pushes both throttles forward. The lightning growls, a deep metallic roar that vibrates through his boots. The bombers grow larger in his canopy. He can see the rear gunners now, 2 men in each lily, wiping fog from their glass domes, swiveling their guns, shouting warnings to each other. Tracer fire streaks upward, thin, frantic orange lines. One round snaps past Bong's canopy, close enough to make his ears ring. He doesn't flinch. He angles slightly left, using the lightning's concentrated nose-mounted guns to minimize deflection. Jansen dives beside him. "Sir, 2 Zeros returning. Fast." "Keep them busy," Bong orders. "I'll take the bombers." He lines up the first lily. The bomber's engines thrum. Its wings flex. Its rear gunner squeezes off a wild burst. Panicked, shaky. Bong's thumb tightens on the trigger. A long burst flashes from the lightning's nose. The lily shudders. Its right engine erupts in flames. It peels away from formation, dropping into a slow, awful spiral toward the jungle. 5 left. Another lightning screams overhead, diving through a curtain of tracer rounds. The second lily takes a hit to its fuselage, smoke trailing in a long gray ribbon. Bong shifts targets. The formation is breaking. Behind him, a Zero tries to climb back into position but stalls out. The worst thing a Zero can do at low altitude. It drops away, unable to recover. Johnson's voice shakes with adrenaline. "They're falling apart." Bong doesn't answer. His eyes are fixed on the remaining bombers, because one of them, just one, is still holding altitude perfectly. Steady, deliberate, on track for Dobodura. A veteran crew, a disciplined pilot, a man who won't break formation even as others fall. Bong exhales. "That one," he says quietly. "He's the one who'll get through." He banks right. Full throttle. The lightning howls. The Japanese bomber inches closer to the point of no return. The forests part below. The coastline glimmers ahead. This is it. The coastline sharpens in the hazy distance, a thin gleam of silver blue beyond the endless green. Dobodura is out there, just a few minutes flight ahead, and the last intact Lily bomber is locked onto that path with unnerving discipline. Major Richard Bong feels his pulse thudding in his throat. Not fear, not panic, just urgency, the kind that sharpens everything into slow, deliberate clarity. He pushes the throttles forward until the lightning vibrates so hard the metal foot pedals buzz under his boots. The bomber's tail fills more and more of his canopy. Behind him, the sky is chaos, smeared contrails, climbing lightnings, diving Zeros, black smoke columns clawing upward from 2 bombers that didn't make it. The radio crackles with frantic voices, clipped orders, half-formed warnings. But ahead, only one target, one aircraft that absolutely cannot be allowed to reach Dobodura. Johnson's voice cuts in from the left. "Sir, he's not braking. Rear gunners awake." He's right. Bong sees the movement. 2 silhouettes in the glass dome, one bracing the gun mount, the other calling out their position, heads snapping back and forth, sweat glistening even from this distance. The gunner fires a short burst, probing, not panicked. Experienced. Measured. Bong adjusts lower, sliding into the bomber's blind spot. But the Lily's pilot dives slightly, forcing Bong back into range. Damn. He knows we're here, Bong mutters. Another lightning swoops down from above, angling to take a shot. But the bomber's top gunner pivots and sprays a vicious arc of tracers that drives the American fighter off. Sir, he's good, Johnson says. Really good. He's alive, Bong answers. He wants to stay that way. But the Lily is gaining coastline. Every second counts. Bong drops altitude. Just a few dozen feet, until the trees rush past in a dizzying green blur that makes the cockpit vibrate with turbulent air. Leaves, branches, even the smell of damp jungle pushes up through the vents. He angles the lightning upward again, just slightly, using the bomber's own climb to bring him closer without exposing himself. The rear gunner leans out, searching. The moment his head clears the glass, Bong pulls the trigger. A precise burst. Not reckless, not rushed. The gunner jolts back inside. Hit or ducking, Bong can't tell. But the fire stops. The Lily wobbles, only for a heartbeat. But a heartbeat is enough. Bong rolls left, pulling the lightning out of the jungle pocket and onto the bomber's flank. His crosshairs drift over the engine cowling. He steadies his breathing. Easy, he whispers, to himself, to the aircraft. The turret guns pivot sluggishly. They're losing power. Firing, Bong mutters. He squeezes. The 50 cals thump through the air in a heavy, rhythmic roar. Metal sparks explode off the Lily's left engine. A flash, a plume of sudden black smoke. The bomber lists, struggling to correct. The pilot fights it. Bong can see the entire plane flex as the crew works frantically inside. But the left engine groans, coughs, and finally seizes with a violent shudder. The Lily drops. Not sharply, not in a dramatic plunge. Just lower, losing air, losing hope. Johnson pulls up beside Bong, voice trembling with adrenaline. Sir, he's done. Not yet. The bomber levels. Barely. Its right engine straining to keep the aircraft alive. The pilot, whoever he is refusing to abandon the run. Bong feels an unexpected twist in his chest. Respect. But respect can't let him reach Dobodura. He lines up the shot again. For a moment, the world goes silent. No engine roar, no radio chatter, no jungle rushing by. Just the crosshairs. A breath. A heartbeat. He fires. The Lily shudders, nose dipping forward. Smoke pours from its fuselage. The right engine coughs once, twice, then flames bloom across the wing. The bomber begins a long, tragic descent toward the trees. For the first time, Bong speaks softly, barely above a whisper. I'm sorry. The Lily disappears into the canopy with a muted, hollow crash. No explosion, no fireball, just a sudden absence. The remaining Zeros see it happen. What little aggression they had left dissolves. Two dive for the jungle, trying to use terrain to escape. One climbs desperately, only to stall and drop away. The last turns east and flees toward the fading coastline. The fight is over. The radio fills with exhausted breaths. Coughs, half-hearted jokes, relief disguised as bravado. Johnson exhales shakily. Dobodura's safe, sir. Bong leans back, finally letting the adrenaline drain. His cockpit is hot now, uncomfortably so, and sweat trickles down the back of his neck. He wipes it away with a trembling glove. Let's turn home, he says quietly. Fuel's low. We've got wounded, and the Zeros won't be back today. As the P38s climb away from the jungle, the morning sun finally breaks fully across New Guinea, lighting the battered sky in a sharp, blinding gold. For Japanese pilots across the theater, the message would be whispered in ready rooms and written in after-action logs. The twin-tailed lightning wasn't heavy, it wasn't clumsy, it wasn't slow, it hunted, and once it climbed above you, you were already dead. Major Richard Bong switches frequencies, his voice steady again. Lightning Group, form up. Let's go home. They bank toward the rising sun, toward safety, toward Dobodura, toward the men waiting on the airfields they just saved. The war isn't over, but today the sky belongs to them, too.